honestly. But we'll do our dance at the tavern with the bars who've traveled far, and we'll ask them other places they've seen. Come away, adventure calls today, and tomorrow we'll tell of our tale. Come away, we'll see that dragon slain, but before we go, let's drink one more ale. I feel the cold over outside, and the glory that soon could be ours. Let's form a team and we'll take to the wild, and we won't burn down the tavern. No, we won't burn down the tavern. No, we won't burn down the tavern. Come away, adventure calls today, and tomorrow we'll tell of our tale. Come away, we'll see that dragon slain, but before we go, let's dream. But before we go, let's dream. But before we go, let's dream. One more ale.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Office Hours. It's Devin. Excited to see all of you, well, to be here with all of you. We got a ton of stuff to go. Hello? Oh, hello, hello. It seems like it's only going to work if for some reason, the monitor is on. I do not know why. That's going to be insane to listen to. Let's see. Wonder if I could turn off the monitor output for me. Um, Yeah, I'm on a new device today. I kind of forgot, and I realized that I didn't even have OBS installed. I'm going to try one more thing because this is okay. Monitor off. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this on. Okay. Um, let's see if that works for a little while, and then if it goes off, I'll change something. Oh, that's so annoying. I'm going to have to actually just like uh, oh, that's so frustrating. It's only going to work if I have the monitor on so I can hear myself talking while I'm doing this, which is going to be insane. Okay. Well, let's just get through with what we can, and I can do tech stuff later. We have a bunch of new stuff to chat about. First, the test, the charge at checkout. Um, the charge at checkout, and oh no, it's because I'm using uh, this to talk through Keith. Okay, so we are doing a test that's charge at checkout. The whole focus of charge at checkout is to see there's just kind of delay when people sign up for a game and then when they actually get charged, right? And that's like if I sign up for a game on Monday and it's Friday, the chance I'm actually gonna get charged is going to come through. Um, let's see. Um, let's see. Da. This actually is becoming untenable. Give me a sec if I can figure something out. Okay. Right now, it's using just the MacBook Pro. Um, let's see, and if it stops working again, um, uh, and I'm not using a mixer at all. I'm just using the actual. It's really quiet. Yeah. Hmm. Let's see. Is this better? Nope, that's not better at all. Hmm. I wonder if the quality went up. Let's see if I do this. Okay. Let's try one more thing. Okay. So let's see how long this lasts if I have both headphones in. Um, but I don't know why it kept turning off. Nothing. Oh, you heard nothing. Um, yeah, this is why. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. It looks like it's staying, so we're gonna try with this. Um, thank you so much, team. I really appreciate it. It wouldn't be office hours without a little bit of tech chaos. Okay, getting into office hours, the test, the charge at checkout. Let's talk about it. We think that charging at checkout will lead to a higher like show up rate. We think that if people pay for that game, there's a higher likelihood that they're also going to do everything they can to show up to that game. We also think it's likely going to make sure that GMs are going to run those games. So the charge at checkout test is live right now. Um, we're going to be doing it for probably 2 weeks, maybe three. It's only going to be affect people who have their game on Instant Book. And let's see. Uh, oh, there was some talk about like not being able to do free session zero. And if we were to do that, we'd have to create an entire new tool and then have GMs adopt that tool to mark sessions as free session zero, and then roll this out. So essentially, the reason why we didn't account for free session zero in this test is it would block the ability to actually roll out this test by months. And this test is going to determine if we even need to build a long-term solution. What we built for the test is very temporary. We would not roll that out as the baseline solution. We'd have to change some things. We'd have to change a lot of things. So that is why we didn't account for free session zero in this test. If we do deem that charging at checkout is better for the overall economics of start playing and the game masters and more players show up that way, then we're gonna like figure out a way to account for free session zero with this as well. Um, there is another feature that we have marked to look into, which is next session free, which is something we'll probably be working on in the next 3 months. Next session free will get rid of the ability to have a game set at zero forever, and instead you just click next session free on wherever it lives, and then the next session, once that rolls over, and they go back to whatever price they were before you had clicked that. So if they're at $10 and you click next session free, they're at zero until that session fires, and then afterwards it goes back to $10. You'll still be able to add people for free via the seat filler tool, but there when we did a big interview about people like, hey, why do you have people for free? Almost all of them, it was free session zero. Anyone who was changing another price was changing it because they were giving someone a discount. So next session free is something we'll be looking to in the next 3 months. Um, uh, GM Ryan, a free session zero, could the GM refund that charge at checkout? Yes, they can after the session runs. So the idea also is like free session zero, or with how we're doing charge at checkout. Charge at checkout might just be like, hey, you're paying for, to save your seat, and then maybe your second session is free, or you get refunded after you show up. So there's a lot there, and we'll be kind of digging through the results of that, and of course I'll be sharing them here. Um, okay, if you're new here, if you have a question about something we're talking about, go ahead and just type caps all question and then your question following that, and that makes it really easy for me to go ahead and find it in chat and read it out and answer your question. Okay, so that is charge at checkout, why we're doing it, why it doesn't count for free session zero, and of course, talking about the next session free toggle. Um, let's talk about scenarios test. This is something that I think everyone here is going to be really excited to see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. I'll take a quick screenshot and share this with you. Up, up, Um, Friendly's question, half related regarding refunds. Can I set up my own terms and conditions for my games as long as they don't clash with Start Playing? If they don't clash, yes. Um, if they do clash, then you'd be breaking our terms of service. Um, okay, let's see. Come on, Figma, why aren't you loading? Let's see. Pop, pop, pop. Close, 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 close. Well, it seems like Figma's having a hard time loading here. Well, maybe I'll wait for that to load. And I'll move on to the next item and I'll come back to scenarios test. Oh, now it's loading. Just taking forever. Let's see. I'll look at some questions while I wait for that to load. Okay, no, there's no questions. All right. Scenario, 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 scenario. Mhm. There we go. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but summer's coming. You might need a koozie. Okay, this is taking forever to load, so I'm gonna move on to something else and come back to it. Um, the new player signal. This is a really interesting A/B test we're gonna be launching probably next week or the week after. Um, and that test is going to be for um, uh, showing you, the game master, when a player who's joined your game is brand new to start playing. Um, New to start playing players are some of the most valuable players possible because we know that usually if they have a great first time experience with their first GM, they will stick with that GM on average 14 months. So I think it's really important, like when you know that this, I mean, you should treat every customer like that, but we feel if there's a kind of like a call out, if someone is a brand new to start playing, we think GMs are going to give them a little bit more of a white glove treatment to make sure they're onboarded right, to make sure they feel comfortable. Um, and so this will be a call out that we're still kind of testing out where it's going to show up, but probably on like the player page, probably in like the player page of your edited adventure, and maybe in the email. But this will be an A/B test that we're running to help you know that this person is brand new to start playing. Um, okay, we got some questions. Regarding future price ideas, can we eventually set up a single discount percentage for a specific session without going into melee setup? Friendlies, we noticed that discounting sessions lowers retention. So I would maybe refrain from that. But when we also did an interview about like why uh, GMs discount, it's very rare that it is a single session discount, is what we learned. 90% of GMs who've reduced the price of a player is because that player's price is reduced forever because, or, you know, over months because of like their financial situation changed or they're a friend and they're just giving them a friend discount. We came across very few like single session discounts. If we see that data begin to change, we'll probably make more tools around that as well. Um, let's see. Um, that was friendlies. Jetcart, how does Start Playing feel about using our virtual tabletops to make our advertisement banner? Like I'm running a game in Tailspire and I want to make I feel fine about it. Nina, would the player know they have such a tag? No, players would not know they have such a tag. Um, uh, will it be possible to see click-through stats on our table efforts? Super Dish. Once we're a 100-person team, yes, you will. Um, but Super Dish, we're not a YouTube sized company, or I mean, we're still an 11-person team, so we'd have to be much bigger to be able to support infrastructure and maintain something like that. Um, okay. Um, let's see, Nina. It's mostly, I mean, like it's not really sneaky. It's just like the places you'll see where this is a new player. Just don't like they're not places that players have access to. They're like on the GM admin screens or the GM's like a new player has joined your game. Um, okay. Scenario filters. Fantastic. Okay. I think this one I made. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Um, this isn't the one I made. Doesn't matter. This is just the oh, I see what happened here. See if we can find my original ones just so. Mhm. Ba, ba, ba. Let's see. Mhm. Ba, 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 ba. Here we go. I'm going to show you this one. There's some that are like being worked on that are like Nina's designs, and I'm going to show you my jank design. All right. Oh, I did it wrong. I can't just upload that to. Okay. Let's see. There we go. So this is scenario filters. Scenario filters is something we're going to be testing out. They'll be in search. Um, let's see. Um, So we have here learn to play, play today, new campaign, Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, anything but D&D, top game master, play by post, fantasy, high level games, sci-fi, beginner friendly. Um, these are scenario filters that we'll be testing out, and so players don't have to actually go through and do any sort of filtering. They can just pick a scenario that works best for them. Let's see. Um, it's really funny. One of the big things that people always ask for is the ability to exclude a system. That is very hard to make with our infrastructure and exclude game system. Um, and the big thing is nobody really wants to like everyone just wants to exclude like essentially D&D. Maybe Pathfinder too. Nobody's like, I want to see all the games except Brindlewood Bay. All right, don't show me Brindlewood Bay. I want to see everything but Brindlewood Bay. Um, and so like the real feature is like being able to like indie games is really what the request is there. Um, so that's why we're rolling out with these scenario filters. um, let's see. Um, okay. So scenario filters are going to be a bunch of scenarios. It's going to be an A/B test for new users. We're going to measure the impact on signups, and we're also going to like get a deep dive of which of these scenarios is being used the most. We got some questions. DM Sphinx, will we ever get a message specific listing we're referring to? DM Sphinx, um, yeah, it's just really, really hard, and it's not something that's leading directly to more bookings. But as when we like more focus on quality of life stuff, that's probably one of the things that we'll look to tackle. Um, Let's see. Isaac, the DM question: Are D&D Learn to Play ads still going out on social media? Yeah, there's a bunch. Um, there's also a bunch that is targeted in SEM, amongst everything else. And then if you actually go learn to play D&D and search in TikTok, you'll see it's a bunch of videos promoting us too. So we still are one of the best places to learn how to play D&D. We even are in a few different newsletters for our partners like D&D Beyond. It recommends us if you want to learn how to play D&D or to find your first group. So yes, learn to play D&D is, and that's also why it's one of the scenario filters. It's right here, learn to play D&D. Um, Keith, show us on the bell. We're Benwood Bay here to you. Um, it's more that I just haven't, I haven't had enough time to play that game. Like, I only got to play 2 sessions. I want to play more. But it just goes to show, like, no, people only want to exclude one system. So the idea that, like, it's a great example of like how we think about product. Tons of people say we want to be able to exclude game systems from search. And like, well, this is the request, right? But what is the problem? And then we realize the problem. Everyone is talking about that they see too many D&D or Pathfinder games. No one in that entire stack is saying like, I'm seeing too many Cyberpunk games or I'm seeing too many Vampire the Masquerade games. Um, and so to make a tool that excludes any game could take us probably a month and a half, right? And it would be a burden to maintain. Um, but if we made a scenario filter that did that, and it was like, hey, it's always static, it's always going to remove the same thing. That's a lot easier, right? And so we're trying to solve the problem, not build not build a solution. We want to figure out what the problem really is first, and then build a solution that solves that problem effectively. Um, uh, uh, let's see, where's the question? Druckle, what is top Game Master flag and how do we get this? You get it. Well, we're still testing that out. We haven't actually rolled out the test yet. But we're going to roll out a top GM badge. We'll talk about that in a bit. Um, Michael's Mind. So we actually have those currently as filters, and they're not actively used. They're themes. They're the theme filters. But if there's certain themes, like for example, if it's the Halloween season, if it's spooky season, we'll probably put spooky games as a scenario filter. Essentially, scenario filters allow us to be seasonal. It also allows us to track trends. So we could launch Daggerheart as a scenario filter if we end up launching this site wide, because Daggerheart's released, or Cosmere's released, or Draw Steel is released, and we can make that really nice and easy to not only help with those launches, but also tackle trends and seasonality. Um, okay, let's see. Um, uh, think. Okay. Oh, quick question. Who are these people? Did we do a customer survey, or is it GMs who don't play games? Kevin Scarf. What people? I need some context on your question to answer it, please. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. Um, Ben French? No, because who knows if it's hard to tell if people are actually going to do that. They could say that and not mean it, and then it's one more thing that we have to police. Uh, which games from indie companies have you seen do really well? Is Darrington Press an indie company? What are Maya's Game Room? What are indie? What would you categorize as an indie company? I'll tell you how well those games are doing. Um, let's see. Question: Will there be any potential lock-in for reviews as highlighted review? Oh, Kyle Knotts, are you a ringer for me? You are literally bringing up the next thing on my list. Um, as of today, we've changed how reviews work. Reviews are now sorted by the volume of games played instead of most recent. This is after some surveying with players, some user interviews with players. The thing that they care most about is the most trustworthy of the reviews, and how they've all determined that is sessions played. So sessions played is actually the default sort now for games. Um, we've talked to players like, hey, what would you think about like a pinned review or a highlighted review that the GM's like, hey, this best describes me, and overwhelmingly wasn't trusted by players. They feel like they would just kind of select what their friends say. So that's why we went with sessions played, because when we interview players, this is currently how they're navigating if a review is trustworthy or not. Let's see. Um, uh, Free League. Free League's. Which one of Free League's games doing really well right now? Um, I'd have to go and look. But our usual list that you see that's on our blog about the most popular like the top 50 games from 2024, still the case. Son of Oak, yeah, Other Escape is doing pretty well. So's City of Mist. Legend of the Mist is I believe going to do gangbusters when it launches. Um, Hunter's Entertainment, the bikes games do really well. Um, Sessions played is so much better for me. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of the things I fought for a long time, and it was just finally the I was able to kind of get this prioritized, and the team was able to get that workout really fast. So yeah, the default sort I think is gonna be great. Um, One Ring does pretty well. Um, okay, let's see. Question: Can we update the system reviews so they accurately affect the number of reviews games? RL, no, but you can go and update it whenever you want, and it'll then show your updated review count. But we won't continue to count those up. It's only at the time of that review. Um, Let's see. For the most reviewed sorting, is that the one where you click all reviews or be implemented right onto the game page? Yes, your game page will end up showing the reviews with the most sessions played. Um, and Bertoso, have you done the onboarding? I recommend you would, but after you get around 30 reviews, the volume of your reviews doesn't really change the likelihood of you being booked. But the higher your review, obviously, anything above 4.5 is kind of considered the same when we looked at our modeling. And same thing with volume of reviews. The more reviews you have, the better. But that kind of tops off at around 30. Um, and Boostero, you should ask for reviews if they are verified reviews. Unverified reviews, players don't really care about, and they understand that like they're reviews of friends. Um, they like it because they can kind of get an idea if they see all their friends kind of saying the same thing. They're like, oh, this is probably true because if all their friends are at least giving them like a friendly review, but they're all saying the same thing, that's something likely to trust. Okay, let's see. New player signal, scenario test, free session, next session free toggle, charge at checkout, reduce listing volume. This is another test we're going to be working on. The reduced listing volume is something that we're going to be trying out to see if new GMs who come to start playing, if they have a lower amount of listings they can create, do they focus and create higher quality listings? So what's going to happen is there's going to be two cohorts, a control and a variant. The variant will be limited by how many game listings they can create. Now, that they will be able to create more game listings if X happens. X could be transactions, reviews, etc., but that will allow them to create more than one game list or additional game listings every time they hit another kind of threshold. Um, if we notice that we see a higher retention, higher onboarding, or higher purchase transactions, etc., then we're probably going to roll something like this out because we believe that the more you can focus on running a great game, the more likely you are going to run that great game. There's a little bit of data. As we went through the modeling and we try to analyze it a little bit more, it's it's a smaller indicator of success, but it's so early on that we really want to try to identify that. So that's why we're doing this A/B test. Um, okay. Um, Question: Any potential solutions to help elevate listings for games that are not well known? For instance, try something new filter or a way to show games that only have a few GMs running them. That's not something that players have looked for. Players they want to browse, and so we're making browsing tools for them. Um, and hopefully those games will fall into those browsing guides that they're seeking out. And I believe Awkward Corbin, if you checked out the scenario filters, I think some of what you're hoping, the things that elevate other games, kind of being done by those filters already. Um, Cyborg Prime, that depends on you. I'll tell you this: anything above $10 has the same likelihood of booking. or like there's this or the same likelihood of a transaction occurring. Anything under $10, that occurrence begins to lower dramatically. Um, I have a player that played with me before but had to leave due to life. Now she's returning to a different campaign. Will she count as zero sessions played? Well, how many sessions has she? How many sessions has she played with you? If any session that's been charged counts as the session played. Um, Falcon Forge Fantasy. Do we cover what constitutes top 10% of GMs? As in all users, 500 users. What goals to set the metric? Top 10% of GMs is, like of active GMs in the top 10%. When I was talking about that, as the people who we were, what is it? The elements that we were defining on who was going to be able to be part of the, um, what is it? Starter set test. And so when we expanded it to like the top 30% of GMs based off of like certain qualities, then we saw that we opened up a lot more inventory, and that led to a lot more bookings into starter set games. Because inventory was low when we had that really kind of like that 10%. And the problem was the inventory was low. And so there weren't as many games being made. When we opened up to more GMs, that kind of expanded that, and more games are available, that inventory ended up having more demand for it. Or it does, the supply met its demand. Okay. Um, let's see. Let's go on to what is next. Um, Ross Fulton. So for the starter set test, the parameters that we put in set for that, you might be in the top 30. Um, the idea of a top 10%, top 30% was for the specifics that we listed for starter set. Those specifics, you can say like you're in the top percent of you're in the top 10% of GMs who run games on Mondays. But for the starter set, was the top 10%. Um, oh, let's see. Okay. Um, Kevin Sharp, how many active GMs are there right now? Close to 3,000. Um, uh, yeah, close to 3,000. Like a little bit under. We noticed that it increased a lot when we launched the GM application. The GM application is launched, like the average, it's like 29 days, 27 days for the first charge to come through for a new GM. That does get a charge. So remember, this doesn't include GMs who never run a game. Like it only accounts for GMs who end up running a game. On average, those GMs end up having their first charge within 20 on the 29th day. Um, okay. Um, okay. I'm gonna get to these questions in a sec, but let me keep moving to our stuff, and I'll get to general questions after we make it through our list. Um, Teach Tomes, yeah. If she's played in paid sessions with you, then that will continue to count. Um, uh, what percentage of listings are currently active? I think like something like 70% are active. Because you remember like full games are considered active, right? Like any game that's running. I think it might be like 70 or 80%. Okay, enough of those. Let me get back to it. Play by post analysis. So we're going to do analysis on play by post. Um, that is looking to see like what is the refund rate of play by post, what is the onboarding rate of play by post, what is the retention rate of play by post compared to the site average, compared to our regular average. We want to see how play by post is actually performing, because that's going to indicate a lot about how we want to handle the future of play by post. Uh, ba, 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 ba. So that analysis we'll be doing over the next probably 2-3 weeks. And that'll indicate a lot of the testing that we're going to do around play by post, and a lot of like the feature development that play by post will see as well. Um, okay. Game card research and A/B test. We're also doing research on our game cards. So the game cards is when you go to search those cards, we're going to try showing some new things on them, removing some things. Overwhelmingly, all new players are like, I don't care about the GM's photo. I can't see it. I don't know the name. It just takes up space for me, right? Some players said like, I really wish I could see this on here. I wish I could tell if it was a published module or if it was a homebrew. So there's a lot of stuff we're hearing from this research. We're going to go ahead and do some A/B tests to see if we can improve the search card experience. Now, this is a really hard test because you have to use purchases or transactions um, uh, uh, to really kind of figure out if you're making an impact. Because the idea is like going further in the funnel might not be helpful, right? Like because people don't have to go in the funnel because they can find what they need on that card. Um, so we're hoping they can help people find something. But the other idea is like the time to purchase might also be a metric we look at because if we can make it easier for someone to go through, find what they need, and purchase faster than an average, then we know that we're providing them like some value here on this card. Um, uh, let's see. New review sort. We talked about that. The new PDP page is launched. The player calendar is launching later this week. Um, and the player calendar is your calendars as GMs. You will just see your games that you play in on that calendar as well. But players will be getting their calendar so they can see the games they're playing in, and they'll be able to subscribe to their games as well. Something to note and something to tell your players: you subscribe once, all your games will start playing are through that subscription link, not just the game you as a GM. If they subscribe to the link that we provide, they're subscribed to all games. Let's see. New GM profile is still testing. Um, Learn to play D&D is still a great opportunity, especially for GMs who are trying to ramp up. Pay up booking test is going on. Mechanics pages are launched. I think we've already talked about that. The GM application. Okay. Um, Let's see. And if you haven't signed up for the Cosmere event or the Draw Steel event and you want to sign up for those events, you better do so ASAP. You can check the updates channel for more details on those. Okay. Question. Robert says, what are some of the common traits or behaviors your team has gleaned from full-time or top 10% GMs? They respond quickly. They do everything they can to make sure the player plays in the first session they signed up for. So if I signed up for a game and it should be on a Tuesday, those GMs are going out of their way to do everything they can to make sure that person actually plays on Tuesday. If they had four people and one person drops out and they're like, we don't want to start the campaign yet, they run a one shot. That is something that we see like top tier GMs do because they understand well, there's this thing, right? If you run a game for someone on the intended time that that game was supposed to happen and they have a great time, the retention rate of that person with you is going to be dramatically high, like 14 months. But the more times that a game is canceled because other players are missing and nothing happens on that time, the more likely that game will fall apart. That's just part of life, right? Friday is a great GM, and she was talking about checking in often because she'll kind of see that like the players are like not vibing on it anymore, and she's like, "Hey, why? What you don't like this? Let's change it." So that kind of stuff is what you see out of like top GMs because they're trying to it's professionalism, right? And they're reading the room. If people don't like it, they're talking to them. They're making it comfortable to also say like, "Hey, if you don't like something, let me know." So they're really good about like the power dynamics. So stuff like that. Okay, have there been any issues with described GM loot? The link in my email goes to a broken page. Jack Cart, that's fine. You can just go to the regular page, but the code works the same. Let's see. What's the best way to do a variation of the same game? AG, I have the same game for one player, three plus players, and play by post. Should I indicate it the same listing? Embersto, I don't understand that question. Could you rephrase that? Um, when is the website's dark mode coming? Milo Income, probably February 18th, 2026. I'd probably say that's my estimate. Um, let's see. Um, for profiles and cards, has there been any suggestions about applying a short intro clip or Jared Knoll? Jared Knoll, that's a it's definitely something we've considered to be like V2 of game profiles or GM profiles. Is like a little like Hinge, you can have a little clip, like your best villain monologue, and you're able to do it. So yeah, that's definitely something we are considering for the future. Um, Hang Han GMX Since players are being charged at checkout, will there be a feature in the future to give player a creator code to give them a discount at checkout? How would free sessions work now? Hang Jimix. You probably weren't here in the very beginning of the office hours when I talked about why we didn't address free session zero in this test. Um, and oh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry, it's the aspartame. Um, but if we end up charging at checkout, we're going to have to roll out a feature that allows you to do free session zero, where you, as the GM, go ahead and say like, "Hey, this first session will be free. It would be free session zero." Um, let's see. Uh, Phoenix, is GM loot still a thing? Is it hiding in my spam somehow? There's only so many months of it, and when we have a new GM loot come on, that's usually when people are like, What is this?" Because all of them have already cycled through. But yeah, it's still a thing. And as more people like want access to this great group of GMs and have something wonderful to offer, we'll go ahead and continue putting those emails out. Um, let's see. Um, Aspartame, more like Asper Wild. Let's see. Is there anything else that's interesting that's going on? We talked about modeling. We talked about learn to play. 300 blog posts. No update there. Yeah, I mean that's kind of about it. So now we're just in questions for y'all, from y'all, for y'all. Thank you, Milo. All right. Let's see. Dungeon Club beard tutorial. Hey guys, so a lot of people have been asking about what my beard routine is, so I'm going to go ahead and go through today and show you this. Now, remember, if you look at my bio, you can go ahead and click my affiliate link for my beard softener. Um, Sarah M, June GM webinars. Check your email. Not only did you get an email about the Draw Steel event and the Cosmere event, but you also got an email about the June webinars. Um, Webinars are some of the best ways you can level up as a GM. Actually, that's like the second best way. The first best way is by doing the onboarding. Do the onboarding. Okay? Do the onboarding. If you haven't done the onboarding, do the onboarding. If you haven't done it, do it. Do the onboarding. Do it. Do it. Do it. Uh, and then the third thing you can do is play in more games. I say this time and time again. The more you are as a player, especially when you're just starting out on Start Playing, and you play with highly reviewed GMs, the better off you will be as a GM. If you're meant to be a great pro GM, because you can see things that you can improve yourself. How many times have we played with another game master and you're like, oh my gosh, I really liked what they did. I want to add that to my game. I really like how she did that. I really like how you did that. I really like they did that. I'm gonna put that in my game. Or you saw someone else do something in their game and you're like, wow, I do that in my games and I hate it as a player. I'm gonna take it out. Those are three ways you can succeed as a pro GM and start playing. Take the onboarding, go to a webinar, and play in games. Let's see. Ross Fulton, how are your stress levels, Devin? Beard looking a little gray. Well, I'm not getting the sleep I used to. Instead of getting 7 hours, I'm getting 5. That's okay because I love him. Got a little one. You guys know this. I'm a dad now. Um, and babies be not sleeping. That's just what they do. Um, let's see. Question coming back to SBG after a very long hiatus. What's your advice on getting the ball rolling, getting more reviews? I only three hats. Take the onboarding again. Do a webinar. Play with the pro GM. Let's see. When you say learn to play, is that just someone who lists the game as new player friendly or something else? Nat40, great question. Learn to play. If you want to, a great way to ramp up in one shots is running learn to play D&D one shots. A learn to play D&D one shot should be like $15, 2 hours long. The title should say learn to play D&D or learn to play Dungeons and Dragons. It shouldn't be filled with a bunch of proper nouns. It should be really welcoming. It should be really light. And that's a great way to onboard it to not only uptick your reviews, but also to find new players because there's an appetite for that and it's not currently being served at all on the platform. I looked for a learn to play game on a Friday night that had enough players to kick off. Nothing. And then I was like, okay, well, it doesn't have it. And I just found one Wes Marches game which West Marches I wouldn't really call for beginners because most beginners are like they don't even know what a West Marches is yet. Um, but that's my 2 cents. More my 3 cents. I'm very opinionated. You know me. Um, GMs are running in prime time, one game or more. Kevin Sharf. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the exact numbers here, but full-time GMs are usually most of their games are in prime time, um, because they can operate in that time. The thing I will always say, and I'll say again, if I haven't said it once, I'll say it twice. I'll say it 3 times. Run games when you can run your best game ever. If you can't run great games on prime time, don't run games on prime time because you will not retain players that way. Um, what's the best way for an indie publisher to partner with Start Playing? Friendlies, have a committed base. We don't usually do events with smaller publishers if they don't have an excited audience that wants to play this game. One of the reasons why things like Daring to Press, Cosmere, why those work is they have this base of people that want to play this game, and by them saying, "Hey, come to Start Playing. We trust this platform. We know these GMs are great. We've given them early access. We've given them these goods." And the GMs that are passionate about it are running these games, and so they know that, like, Cosme knows the people who play with a Start Playing GM are going to have an incredible onboarding experience to this game. And so then when we do effort to promote the game as well, it's in tandem and it helps reduce the cost, because if Brotherwise is talking about us and then we're advertising, that reduces the customer acquisition cost. If we're just doing all the work, we can't. We only have so many people on our team. Our bandwidth is limited, so we have to make sure that we're taking on things that we know are going to impact the game master community, as much as possible. So that's why we do have to be kind of picky and choosy when we do events. Maybe in the future we'll have like self-serve options, but that's the biggest thing. If an indie publisher wants to work with us, they gotta have a passionate audience that is ready to get involved with pro GMs. Um, let's see. Um, Raul says, oh, I lost it. Um, I know there's often events for new games coming up, but are there ever going to be plans for events for existing systems? Well, yeah, when it makes sense. If there is an existing system out there and they're really looking to ramp up their presence on Start Playing, we're happy to event. That same thing applies. If they have a built-in audience, maybe they want to do an organized play, or maybe they want to do a play day or a weekday or a play weekend. Um, Onboarding should be mandatory, in my opinion. Yeah, I wanted to do that eventually, but we got to find a way to make the onboarding times more accessible. Robert Alferez, did I hear something about player subscriptions earlier? You did not. But now that I've said that word out loud, someone in Discord's gonna be like, "Devin said we're rolling out player subscriptions," and it's a Discord lore. I'm gonna have to hunt down and nip at the bud. Um, Elias, question: will there be more times for the Oh, yes, that's something that we need to work on. Um, uh, Game Nate, is there any plan to revamp player profiles? They already exist, but I don't really show anything. Yeah, there's actually some research around this that the team will be doing this quarter. Isaac, the DM. Has the onboarding changed much in the past 2 years? Is it repeat onboarding recommended? I think it's changed a little bit because we've rolled out a lot of it. If you think about how the company's changed and how the tools have changed, I think it's very valuable. Um, Robert, congratulations to you too. Um, uh, um, let's see. Improv GM is learn to play strictly D&D, or yeah, you put for other games. But I there's an appetite for D&D that I'm referencing, but you can do learn to play for anything. I mean, and I think that's great. Um, uh, let's see. Well, hey Devin, we'll start playing at the UK Game Expo in 2026, maybe. It depends on how well we're doing. If we keep going in the direction we are, I don't. It'd be very likely I'll be there. Kyle Knotts, question: with regards to charity events in tandem with Gen Con, would that be self promo, or could I put that? Can we put it in the Gen Con event page? Kyle Knotts, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. If you can go ahead and update that question, I will happily answer it. Um, Let's see. Okay. Next question. Um, Devin has a kid. Cut up some slack. Thank you. Most GMs don't know what smarches are yet. GM, did you talk about the top GM badge? No, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, because we don't have anything to go off of yet. But there's a. I wonder. I actually think I have a mock-up of what it looks like. Um, so I'll go ahead and pull that up. Um, let's see. Game Master badges. Um, so what is the top GM badge? Well, what we know is we want to figure out through an A/B test, can we um, uh, do we see players who are brand new to the site book more with top GMs than regular GMs? If we tell them like, hey, this is a great GM for a new player. Uh, if this is a great GM for a new player, will that person book with that GM? And if so, will the actual stats of like, hey, this player is also let's see. Uh, Will this player also have a higher onboarding rate? Will they have a higher retention rate? Um, that's something to figure out. Right now, it's hard to determine is onboarding rates directly related to the GM or the player. Now, what we do know is a negative signal is not a good interpretation of a GM, but a positive signal is a good interpretation of a GM. What does that mean? Well, let's say a player books a game with you and is charged. That's a positive signal. That should count towards going up. But let's say a player books with you and then they were never charged. That's a negative signal. But we shouldn't count that because that is very rarely related to the GM. So positive signals are better indicators than negative signals. Negative signals are bigger indicators of a player than they are a GM, but positive signals are better indicators of a GM. So what we need to do is we need to see, hey, can we actually change player behavior? So we're going to have this GM badge. This GM badge is going to be A/B tested, so half of new players won't see it, half of new players will see it, and it's going to be through the modeling that we did. And we'll kind of once we have a figure out like how we're launching this, I'll go ahead and share with y'all. And we're essentially going to just like calculate the last 3 months of GMs, and we're going to look at this modeling and see like what GMs fall into that. And it's around 25% of GMs. Um, and then we're going to go launch this, and this will be a badge that will show up on the game listing and on the GM profile. Let's see. Uh, Something kind of like this. Up, top GM. Uh, and what we're looking for is, and the thing is, we're going to realize if this is helpful or hurtful pretty quickly. Because one, do players then book with those GMs? Great. We know that we're able to sway, and that means we can also maybe do some more recommendation stuff in the future. But do those numbers change? If we send player to a GM who has a high likelihood of onboarding, high likelihood of game tilting, things like that, does that continue to happen? Does it stay flat? Or sending more players there, does it actually hurt those GMs and lowers those numbers because it's the player that ultimately affects all of those numbers? So that's what this test is really going to help us figure out. And we'll probably be doing that in the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at all these questions. Um, Nat 40. What time span exactly is prime time? U.S. Evenings and weeknights. Um, like 4 p.m. Or 5 o'clock and onward U.S. times. Um, let's see. What time? Oh, that we just answered that question. Um, let's see. Isaac, the DM, do you anticipate there being events for Demiplane and other systems, Cyberpunk Fallout? Yeah, I mean, Demiplane and Roll20 being partners of us, we really liked how the Daggerheart campaign came out, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do some more stuff with Demiplane on those other systems. Um, let's see. Umberto question. Any plans to launch SPG in other languages like Spanish? Yes. In the next year, we'll be hopefully doing some big internationalization pushes, which includes, translation, and includes multi-currency. Um, Milo, is there anything to keep in mind if we want to host my own one shot for charity events organizations? Nope. Just make sure that like, you put it in your listing. Say like, hey, you sign up here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the funds to donate to this, and that's between you and your players. Um, let's see. Will we get implementation to charge prices in non-USD reflect currently for DM Sphinx? Will we get implementation to charge prices in non-USD and for the price to be reflected correctly for the player's currency? Oh, internationalization. Yeah, DM Sphinx. It'll involve either finding a different supplier or a different service provider for our payment processing, or to involve us having to expand what we do with Stripe. But that's part of internationalization. That's something that when I talk about multi-currency. The hard thing is you're starting to see in games that, we're gonna have to also figure something out. If you want to charge 25 € for a game, right? But in the US, that's going to be, $23.87. And then, in Canada, it's going to be $27.18. It's going to, so we're gonna have to create some rules around that too, which becomes very complex. Okay. Um, uh, ch- 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 uh, uh, Question. Okay, Isaac has a question. Are one-star reviews negative signals in the same way cancellations? So, one-star reviews aren't a huge indicator when we looked at our modeling as much as cancellations. So, if a player cancels or a GM cancels their game often, that's a bigger indicator than one-star review. But that's also because there's very few one-star reviews. Oh my gosh, it's almost two, and I have a meeting at two. So let's go ahead and speed go through these. Is high pricing for games on your top? Nope. Price the volume, the amount you're pricing a game at does not actually indicate in our modeling the likelihood that a game is to happen or a charge is to occur. Anything over $10, that's the case. Anything under $10, it's not the case. Um, uh, Um, Comments? I'm still not 100% the question. You can email me again, but I have to. I'm going to try to get through all these, but I'll happy to take a look if I see that email come through again. Oscar Rodriguez, how is the cost of the service fee determined? I noticed it's pretty significant difference in the price is for higher a session. Yes, it's a percentage. That's why. Ajax DM, where do we find games to review that aren't currently featured on the D&D? Where do we find games to review that aren't currently featured? Ajax, can you refresh? You talking like review the system? Just on the homepage, you can see. You can go to the systems page. Um, let's see. Dungeon Master Roy currency. Okay. Um, Is there a way to give a discount to players before joining? You could just change their price. I mean, if you're giving them that discount. But what we notice is a player whose price is discounted also is a low likelihood of being able to retain that player. So discounting is something that a lot of people usually kind of drive for, but we haven't seen discounting result in positive signals for GMs, i.e., like high retention, well, mostly retention. So players that have discounts on their join, like they're at a discounted rate, have a higher likelihood of leaving the game. Okay. Um, uh, well, I mean, it would be to rate the GM. The two things we're testing, Keith Langley, would be do people actually book with those GMs if that is the case? And then do we see their numbers go up because those GMs are so good? Do we see the players become better because of it? Um, Ajax, all those are actually on the homepage. If you go to the homepage, you can see the modules, you can see the game systems, you can see, you can see all that. It's all on the homepage, and you can navigate to all of those and review the different ones you like. Um, okay, team. I'm so sorry. I have a 2 o'clock meeting, and we've just there's so many questions, so many great questions. But I will be back here next week, I believe, and we'll talk about next week or the week after. Oh, is this a new tea? Oh my gosh, what is this? Oh, okay. we'll talk about that too. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a fantastic Tuesday, and I'll see you all in the Discord.